Okay guys, so I got the DE22 DRC, I sometimes call it DEERC, it's probably more like DRC. Out now at my old favorite flying spot to take the drone up. This is a nice spot, it's secluded, I don't have to worry about flying around anybody's stuff or anybody bothering me except for an occasional vehicle. So I'm going to take it up, we'll see how stable it is, see how that 2-axis gimbal works, test return to home, and hopefully we can test like follow me and circle me mode as well. So I got a screen recording going, you guys should be able to see on here. First thing I'm going to do is look and see is there any kind of beginner modes, and I can see right off the bat that there absolutely is. So let's disable that. We don't want to be in beginner mode, that's going to restrict our height, our distance, and all that stuff. Now I can set the flight altitude here. I'm going to push all this stuff up on the flight distance and the flight altitude. You guys can see on the screen recording. Return to home altitude, I'll bump it up a little bit more. This is going to be in meters, like 35 or something like that. Click save, and now we should be able to fly okay and not be restricted. Some of this other stuff, I'm not sure what this is. There's track. I think that's like giving you like how far you've flown and some of your statistics from the flight. So let's go back out. You can see we are bound. Now the first thing we need to do is a compass calibration. The app is not asking me to do that, but you need to do that, especially because I have not flown this drone at all. This will be a maiden flight, so we need to get that compass calibrated so that it doesn't toilet bowl. If you're new to drones, toilet bowling is when a drone gets up in the air and starts spinning around like it's going down like you flushed the toilet. And that means the compass has not been calibrated good, and the drone's not going to be stable, and it could very well fly away from you whenever you tell it to fly back home and land. So to do a compass calibration, you're going to do both sticks up and in, and look, it came up an app. It says to do it now. Hopefully the app will guide us along. I'm going to set my phone and that down, and we'll spin it here as I look down and see if it tells us. Now it tells us to go vertical, and it should tell us here in a moment that we're successful. It looks like it did because it disappeared. So the compass should be calibrated. They've really gotten good with these compass calibrations on a lot of these drones nowadays. They used to be a real pain in the bottom to get them calibrated. Now you can see that the gimbal was crooked there. It got thrown out by doing that spinning. It looks like it's leveled. Now there's a slope to this area here. So if it looks crooked on the, it looks fine to me, just eyeballing it here. If it looks crooked here on the ground, that's because this is not a level surface. So it looks like the gimbal's crooked when in actuality, every drone I fly here has that same tilt. So we should be good to go. Now you can, I don't know if there's any settings for, changing like the camera. Let's see, that should be video camera, and that's photo. And I don't see any options to change the video. PTZ fine tuning. We're not going to mess with that. That's to, I think that's actually do some fine tuning to the gimbal, which that's pretty incredible if that's the case. In case you might notice a tilt in the gimbal and you need to fine tune it manually. But I don't see anything for changing any settings for the actual, well, here we go, an image. We're at 4K. If I click that, I don't know if there's another one there. I can't see, there's a lot of glare out here, but it looks like it's saved as MP4, 16:9 aspect ratio, image adjustment, controls, sharpness. So you can do a bit of image adjustment, but it looks like you're sort of stuck to 4K, which is fine. Sometimes if you go to 1080p on a drone, it will bump up the frames per second. And me personally, I like a smoother, higher frame rate. To me, is more important than the image resolution, because if the frame rate's really low, the drone is going to, the image is going to look shuddery when you're moving fast. All right, we should be ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and let's press the record button on the controller and see if we got video recording, and we do. Very nice. And let's go ahead and let's do, it says ready to fly. We got full satellites. It does beep at me, which I think that means it's recording. That's kind of annoying. And both sticks down and in starts the motors, and it looks to me like you just have to do a manual takeoff. And let's just let it hover there for a moment and see how stable it is. Yeah, this is gonna beep at me the whole time while I'm recording. Unfortunately, doesn't look like there's anything I can do about that. Very nice. Very nice and stable. Let's see what rate we're in. This is our rate button right here. Let's go and see if that, there's the lowest rate. There's middle rate, and there's the highest rate. It's just moving around a little bit as I'm yawing. That's not that uncommon. I'm gonna go back and go to the middle rate. Highest rate we may try. Your lowest rate's gonna be best for cinematic videography. Let's go ahead and let's tilt the gimbal down. I noticed when I did this, there is a bit of a delay in the controls for the gimbal. It goes and it's actually quite smooth. You just may have to do, like I'm doing, some fine tuning, because when you push this dial, it just there's like a second delay before the gimbal responds. And then this dial over here is supposed to be to let you zoom in. And there we go. See, I'm zooming in on me. I'm not going to mess with that much. That is to zoom. That's a digital zoom, and it's not going to be that handy, but it might work for you if you need to zoom on something while you're flying. But remember that it's not actually a optical zoom. Okay, let's go ahead and do like my friend Marcus always does over Idaho Quadcopter, and let's do a manual droney. So let's just go ahead and just well, put the gimbal down just a hair as I go up. It's gonna, and just go ahead and take off and see if, there we go. A manual droney. Nice. From what I can see here, the gimbal's working really nicely from what I can tell. I'm not seeing any jello in the video. I'm going to put the gimbal back up a little bit now. I can see the horizon. Looks nice and level. If there's any slight deviation here, that's just because, you know, elevation changes in the background. Let's go ahead and see now which way we're facing. We're going to fly it over this way. Yeah, this is just going by what I'm seeing here in my FPV feed. I'm pretty impressed. Now, from what I've been told, I've never had this other drone, but this is supposedly the SJRC F11, very similar to it, rebranded under the DEERC name. And you can see I'm flying it out here. I'm well within line of sight still. It's not real fast, but again, I am just in the lowest rate. Let me go ahead and press it up to the higher rate. Boy, oh, now I can really see the pickup in speed there. Yeah, it's booking. It's really moving now. Looks good though. Now you may get some props in your video there because you're in the highest rate. Let's see if I can get some statistics here. It looks like I'm out of 180 meters. And it looks like the video feed may be freezing a little bit. Now, this is on 5G Wi-Fi, but that's not uncommon. These drones don't get really good distance when you do that. That's why you got to return to home. Let's see if this flies it back here and lands by pressing it. Because I don't have a video feed at the moment. Hopefully it's coming back. Here he is, yep. Usually I do a long press on the return home because they don't usually make it come back on a short press. And yeah, we don't have any video feed on it. But here it is. So it's always best not to panic. So the video feed on the screen recording is gonna be, looks like it's still frozen. Looks like it may be coming back in now. But the telemetry data is still good. 30 meters up and only 0.7 meters off in terms of its original takeoff spot. Let's see if I can tilt the gimbal down and see if we got, yeah, we got the feed back. Look back down, guys. It doesn't look all the way down, as you guys can see. I'm gonna put it back up so we don't bump it into the ground. Let's see how it does. It is going to be very close. Okay, that's really nice. For a drone that doesn't use any optical assistance, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Hopefully that stops it. Now it's still beeping, that's a bit odd. Usually I didn't use the controller to stop. Now hopefully we got some video saved. And it's still beeping, weird. Anyway, that was a really good return to home. That was off by what, 2 feet max? For a drone that's not using any sort of, you know, optical assistance or precision landing, you can't ask for better than that. So let's go ahead and see if we can start recording again. Okay, we're recording again. I'll try to remember to use the controller to do that, starting that up again. Let's see if I press that return to home again. Okay, no? Let's long press it. I'm trying to see if I can cancel that because it just keeps beeping at me. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know, that's a really annoying beep. The controller just keeps beeping, but it looks to me like everything's fine. All right, anyway, we're recording some video to the SD card again. I got a 32 gigabyte SanDisk Extreme card in there, so it should have plenty of bandwidth, or, you know, to be able to handle 4K. Let's go ahead and take it up again. Oh, is it going to let me? I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to stop recording the video again. Let's see if we can figure out how to get the props to unlock. Huh, there we go. Let's go ahead. I'm going to start recording video. Let's go ahead and take it up. Yeah, they didn't want to unlock. Both sticks down and in unlock the props. Sometimes you got to be patient. Yeah, that beeping just means I'm recording. But usually, sometimes you get that beeping on a GPS return too, to home. So I thought it maybe was continuing beeping because it was still in return to home mode. Let's just do a little rocking back and forth here. A gimbal test. This is just a 2-axis gimbal. Let's just see how it does. That's pretty extreme, so if it doesn't work perfect, you're not going to typically fly like that, especially when you're filming. Okay, let's see if we can get in here and test some of these smart features. Now this drone does advertise that it has EIS and of course the stabilized gimbal. EIS is your electronic image stabilization. I don't know if there's any way I'm going to know if it has that, but if it does, that would help fix any small imperfections in the gimbal itself. But again, we won't really necessarily know if its EIS is even on the drone or working. Okay, let's go ahead and go over here, and this is where you've got like follow me and circle me, I think. Well, I don't see circle me, I see a follow me here. The first option I think is dynamic tracking, where it will follow my box. Let's try just seeing if it'll follow me. It looks like it is. Let's see if I can adjust the yaw to look at me more. Now it's a little bit off. I look down a little bit at me. Oh, let's just walk. Yeah, it's working. Well, I misstepped there. Yeah, so that worked really, really well. That's actually a really good follow me. So I'm gonna go ahead and press in there, press it again to cancel it. There we go. Now the other option was the like dynamic. Let's see if it says under the adequate light. Okay, let's see if I can draw, if it lets you draw a box. All right, let's just have it try to track me. This works. This will be amazing because you don't really usually see good tracking on these more inexpensive drones. But yeah, it is following me. Right now it's more yawing, but it's really not moving much. Let's see if it lets me walk out of the field of view. Huh. Well, it's followed me but the yaw, but it doesn't seem to be moving. So it looks to me like it's more of a tripod type of a yaw. Let's walk around this way and see if it's, as you guys can see, it's definitely turning. So it is following me. Now you can see I almost walked out of the frame, so a very fast object it's not going to be able to follow probably. I gotta say, so far, unless there's something I see when I get back to edit this, I'm super impressed with this drone. Now, it's not the cheapest drone either. This is gonna cost you not as much as a Mini 2, but I gotta say, if your budget's in that $300 range, boy, from what I've seen so far, I'm not sure that there's a better drone at $300, unless you buy a used Mavic Mini 1st Gen. Yeah, so it does follow you on the yaw axis, but it is not moving. It's just sitting there. So you can see it centering again. So I'm gonna go in there and cancel that. Just fly it forward. I think I'm still on the highest rate. You can see it really books. All right, so I don't know what other options are in here. A VR mode, hand gestures, waypoints. I don't know what this is. Those are just some filters. Huh. So I don't see, I don't see a circle me mode. That's kind of odd. They usually include circle me modes, and I don't remember in the instruction manual if I saw that, but this is where I know it said the smart features were, and you usually have a circle. I see a waypoint missions, hand gestures, VR mode, tracking or follow me mode, and then a dynamic or active tracking. So yeah, we don't have a circle me mode, which is a bit odd. But yeah, the gimbal tilt, like I said, is a little delayed, but it's pretty smooth. It's not super herky-jerky like some of the cheaper gimbals are. It's not as smooth as a DJI or an Autel gimbal, not even close, but it's not bad. Let's see, what else can we do here? Trying to think. We've got, here is an automatic takeoff within the app. So we could maybe take that over here and see if it'll do an automatic landing. I just didn't notice an automatic landing on the actual controller. One thing we could also do here is back up and just take a photo or two. Let's just see what a, well, we probably got to stop the video. So let's go ahead and stop the video. It's saving that to the card. Let's just take a photo. And it says the picture is receiving. I think it's sending it across the Wi-Fi there. Let's just take it up a little higher. And bring the gimbal up. And let's take a photo out in the distance. Hopefully it saves those to the SD card as well, because those, you know, over Wi-Fi, the image may not look quite as good. All right. Only other thing we could really do with this drone is a range test, but after flying it this long, that wouldn't, you want to do that on a full battery. So we're not going to try that. But boy, it flies nice. Gotta say, I'm super impressed, especially for a brand that really isn't, not DRC, but if this is a SJRC, then I gotta say, wow, I mean, that's a brand that, yeah, they make some drones, but you don't expect this good. This is how they're supposed to do it, guys. Now, I can't say for certain there's not some minute jello or something in the video that I'm not able to see on my phone right now, but otherwise, wow. I don't say that often. In fact, lately, pretty much every drone I've reviewed has been a piece of junk. It's been garbage. They always act up, fly off, crash, do something crazy. This drone's not doing any of that. Now, it is, when I let off and it brakes and kind of flies back, it's not like the most stable drone I've flown, but it's far from bad. Again, if you've flown a DJI or even my Evo, you know, you get used to that stability, and then you fly a drone like this and you see it's not as good, and it's much more noticeable. Otherwise, yeah, nice. Okay, let's bring it over here and we will see it's kind of drifting there and catching its GPS coordinates, and then it begins to hold. So that's not that uncommon. when the drone breaks. It's just not the best. But if you got this drone and if that's the only thing I can really see at this moment to complain about, then I certainly wouldn't hesitate buying this over something that small. It's not going to cause you big problems. Again, there is a digital zoom, which you guys will see in the screen recording here. You just click it and look, you can keep zooming in. That is kind of cool. I think it's neat they added it on a dial. I don't know how much people use that just because it is a digital zoom, but hey, it's better than nothing. I'm just going to ease it over here, see where I'm at, make sure I don't come down on top of this log. I'm going to back it up. See, it drifts a little bit as it's trying to figure out where it's supposed to stop. And let's go ahead and do that land, confirm landing in the app. Let's see if it comes on down. Yeah. So you just do that in the app. Press the slider over and that will let you take off automatically and land. I just did manual takeoffs because I like doing that, but you can't, to do that, it doesn't appear that there's a way to doing that from the controller. At least not that I see. This is your rates, your stop, your turn to home, photo, video, and your 2 dials. All right, guys, I think that's enough stuff. I'm going to just check the drone here, and everything looks good. This is really nice. Again, the SD card here is on the side. It says it takes up to 128 gigabyte. I got a 32 gig one in there, but really, gotta say, I'm pretty darn impressed with this thing. The Amazon drones are getting better from these sellers, and DRC is actually, from my understanding, is actually owned by Holystone. And we know Holystone makes some good drones. And this is one that you don't, I wouldn't call it an Amazon exclusive because it's supposed to be the F11, but if you're looking for a drone on Amazon, you know that you're going to be able to return the drone if there's any issues. Top-notch customer service and 2-day shipping if you have Prime. If your budget's maxes out at $300 or a little over, and you just can't get a Mini 2 for $420, then I would highly recommend this drone. I'm really impressed with it. There is a coupon, at least whenever I checked last week, on Amazon's website. You clip, that drops the price $100. It's like 400 and something, and that drops it down. Then be sure to check the video description because I think it's like a 10% off coupon they gave me. You put in before you check out. That drops it down. I think it was around 310 with both coupon and the code applied. And then again, there'll probably be some tax for you, but then aside from that, the shipping's free if you have Prime and you get it quick. So I got to recommend this, and it's been a while since I've really been impressed with the drone. So yeah, if your budget maxes out in that $300 range and you just can't go above that, I highly recommend this one. I'm pretty darn impressed with this. All right, guys, that wraps up the flight review for the DRC DE22. If you want to see what all comes with this drone in the packaging and the spare props and the charging cables and the extra battery and all that, then be sure to check out my previous video where I was unboxing an overview. This one is a 2 battery version I got. I think that's the way it comes. So that's another thing too. You won't get an extra battery with a Mini, and you buy an extra battery and you're up over $500. So yeah, overall pretty darn impressed with this. So if you're new to the channel, please do click the subscribe button so you can check out my future reviews. Click the bell, which notifies you every time I upload. You get notified so you don't miss any of my videos. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Just give it something. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.